licensed real estate broker. DRE license number 020-88298.
Introducing the latest innovation in water technology. The new Nebia by Moen Quattro Showerhead offers 4 unique experiences to choose from. Designed to soothe, clarify, relieve, and cleanse. An indulgent shower experience engineered to use up to 50% less water. Water designs our life. Who designs for water? Visit Moen.com to learn more.
This week at RC Willie, we're celebrating our great customers with great deals. During our customer appreciation sale, you'll find store-wide savings. Through Saturday, take advantage of incredible savings on furniture, mattresses, appliances, electronics, and flooring. Plus, you can get a bread maker for just $19 with purchase. We have everything you need to update your home. Save now on the season's latest styles and colors. Plus, we have a low price guarantee. Take advantage of store-wide savings now. Hurry, our customer appreciation sale ends Saturday at RC Willie.
Hey, it's Doug Lazy. Now the summer's coming to a close and the days are getting shorter and the nights are getting longer. Everybody's spending more time inside and on their devices. You need internet speed that can keep up. I love my Xfinity internet. I've got all kinds of things running on my in-home Wi-Fi, and they give you super fast speeds. It's a game changer. Everybody can multitask online together. Like, you can be working from home or going to school from home while somebody else is streaming their favorite Halloween movie, another person watching their favorite reality show, another person on a video call, somebody else playing video games online. Get a fast and reliable Wi-Fi connection to keep everything up and running at the same time with Xfinity Internet. Get the speed you need to power your devices with Xfinity. Get started with a great offer for Xfinity Internet for just $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year agreement. Or ask about Wi-Fi speed faster than a gig. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today to learn more.
But not just a spot, the spot. Actually, with the all-new Nissan Frontier, you know a bunch of them. One for hitting the trail. One for catching a wave. One where this happened.
Yo, where'd our tent go?
Another where the fish get bigger every time you tell the story. Some spots, you made your mark. Others, marked you. And one, okay, let's stay away from that. But the key to these great spots, being able to reach them in the first place. Your spot is out there. Find your Frontier in the all-new 2022 Nissan Frontier with best-in-class standard 310 horsepower, advanced tech, and 281 pound-foot of torque.
Welcome to the show. Let's get ready to rumble. Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton with Big C. This is Charlton at Big C Sports. Coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to Big C. And them good boys around the country, I want to say bienvenidos to all of our listeners in Latin America, also across the pond, and London, England, as well as Paris, France. Of course, we love you in Canada and Africa, the Big C tribe, but there's no one we love more than the good boys around the country. In the land of the free and the home of the brave on a beautiful October the 15th, 2021 round of the board days is all fair and level war. Today's show is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. Never stop arriving when you go there and ask for yours. Tell them Big C since it's all fair and level war. You can follow Big C Sports Powered all around the world on 17 podcast applications. #1 Google, Alexa, Spotify speakers, Apple Podcasts. You can find us on iHeartRadio Podcast, Deezer Podcast, Castbox Podcast, Podcast Addict. You can also find us on Podchaser, Gio Savon Podcast out of London, England, Podtail, Hubhopper, Stitcher, Radio Online, Luminary. Also coming to Facebook, all fair and level war. You can also find us on 4 TV platforms from Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and a lot of smart TVs all over the universe. Really appreciate that. I also love paying homage. You know how you have Ancestry.com? I go to BigC.com, BigCSports.com for my own family ancestry. And my great-grandmother, Mama, the matriarch of the family, made sure everybody had a full belly and a good tank of a glass of milk, if that makes sense to you. And then making sure everyone stayed together. My grandfather, the great-grandfather, the patriarch of the family, Pop, he was also played League of Baseball. Made the best moonshine in the universe. Last I understood, I thought it was lemonade. I'm like, why do I keep falling asleep every time I drink this lemonade? He said, boy, get out of that barn. All fair and level war. And then Madia, my grandmother, she's a seer, a business person, made sure that everybody had food in the belly, said a lot of things that could keep us safe. as well as my grandfather, Hezekiah. My mom, oh my goodness, started a Head Start program in North Central California, as well as led us to the league championship of the Little League World Series in All Fair and Love and War. Good old times back in the day. And then also made sure everybody could rise and shine all the time. My father, on my father's side of the family, the patriarch, my grandfather, Albert Curry, was a pastor and also owned 2 service stations in Oakland, California. My grandmother, Alberta Curry, she helped also with the church and running business, making sure the family stayed together. My father, retired Air Force mechanic and fighter pilot, all fair and love the war. My beautiful brother Todd, who gives me that great, powerful baritone voice. That's why I say, let's get ready to rumble. It's always woman, all fair and love and war. But I say, let's get ready to rumble. Espy nominated Big C Sports Podcast. And I'm telling you, no scripts, no 3-way teleprompters, no producer in my ear. People say that's painfully obvious, Charlton. Hey, will you do the show? Also pay homage to my son, Malcolm, who sends me NBA stats on a daily basis. He's all over it. Really appreciate that. He's a college student as well. Proud of him. And then my daughter, Daisy, who would also help me set up for sporting events when I would have coaches come to town or coaches conferences. She would help me do that as well as set up interviews. And then Big C, with his extensive knowledge in the past, really appreciate that. I produce, I direct the topics, I do broadcasts of all the shows. I do the sound effects. Excuse me, did I break the concentration? Guess who's coming to dinner? I do the storytelling. I provide the commercials outside of what the agency provides out of New York City. I do the storytelling, the play-by-play where I go touchdown, home run, 3-point play. Oh man, Willie, he's going all the way. You old-time Raider fans understand old man Willie intercepting, running back for a touchdown in the Super Bowl. And then I upload all the shows to 17 podcast applications. That's done by the agency. But I also do that. Appreciate having conversations with another ad agency out of Denver, Colorado. Looking forward to that. She's going actually to the Fresno State Wyoming game this weekend. And then we'll pay attention to be at the Denver Broncos and also their Raiders game perhaps as well. We'll see what happens. But Big C Sports coming to the universe. I love paying homage to God every show. I say Genesis 13:15. For all the land that thou seest will I give you, and thy seed forever. In the book of James 4:2, James Harvey, I think there's a lot of athletes that and entertainers that love it too. The book of James 4:2, we have not because we ask not. So just ask. Whatever you want in life, you got to ask for it. If you don't ask, chances are you won't get it. I'll always ask you to reach out to help our veterans. People go through crisis. Everybody needs help. The Veterans Crisis Hotline is there to help people. 800-273-8255. Or you can text 838-255. If you're online, simply go to veteranscrisisline.net. That's veteranscrisisline.net. And usually they get you help faster than I can talk. And you know that's good. Now, I told you sports fans, if the Dodgers won last night, if the Giants lost, that I would stand on my head. Well, I tried, but I couldn't. I kept falling down. But at least I tried. I also want to say very happy to be affiliated with Valley Homes Weekly TV on Dish TV, Direct TV, AT&T Uverse TV in the first place. Until last night, San Francisco Giants, man, they had a good thing going. And that was not a swing. That referee, the umpire on first base, he just wanted to go home. Because everyone said, all the broadcasters, when they looked at the replay, about 20 seconds after it happened, they said, that was not a swing. But, you know, baseball has to fix that. But congratulations to the Dodgers. The Dodgers are the NLDS champions, defending world champion Dodgers. Now they will get the chance to take on the Atlanta Braves. In the NLCS, it's all fair in love and war. I'm telling you, it should be a good series, but I'm looking for the Dodgers to pull that one out. Our goal in the real estate is to help people get their mortgage rates lower or looking for people looking to buy and sell real estate. All you got to do is reach out to bigcsports.pacwm.com. We tell people instead of swiping left and swiping right on dating websites, try the internet for housing and lowering your mortgage payment. Our goal is to help 10,000 real estate agents and brokers do business with us. We even have some stated programs that are out there, all fair and love and war, bigcsports.pacwm.com. Getting properties back on TV like McDonald's and State Farm and Nike. Car dealerships are doing it. Everybody's trying to do something. So give that some praise. 800-772-8624. Also, I want to say thank you to Xfinity, Comcast TV, and Comcast Spotlight for presenting Big C Sports to the universe. Just like in Genesis 1:3, God said, let there be light. Open your cell phones and say, play Big C Sports Podcast. You will see our app pop up all over the universe. Also, I want to say thank you to Budweiser Zero. It has 0% alcohol, 100% honest game, and it goes great with the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with all those exotic meats. It's all fair. In other words, superdraftpro.com/Big C Sports. You sports fantasy fans, you're all over it for Saturday and Sunday for college football and NFL football. Also, NBA's here. NHL is back. WNBA is going on. There's a lot of good people playing fantasy sports. It is featured in Sports Illustrated, Yahoo Sports, Associated Press, RotoWire, and Sportico. Subscribe to unlock your fantasy games and sports betting experiences with superdraftpro.com/Big C Sports, the official fantasy partner of the Caesars Entertainment. Man, a lot of good things happening in the world of sports. I hope that everybody can be safe over the weekend. You know, I love doing this talk what happened last night with the Dodgers and Giants. Just what a great baseball game. It went down to the bottom of the ninth. It's the last out. Could you imagine the last out decided what happened in that? Shouldn't be so difficult for high school football. I always pay homage to high school football all over this country. I want to say Friday Night Lights, the top 10 high school football teams in the country. And I know because I counted every single one of them by hand. Number 1, Mater Dei, Santa Ana, California. They're 5-0. Number 2, IMG Academy out of Bradenton in Florida, 5-0. Number 3, Westlake of Austin, Texas. They are 6-0. Number 4, Thompson, Alabaster. They are actually 8-0. Number 5, St. John Bosco, Bellflower. They are 6-1. And number 6 is Virgin Catholic, Ordell, New Jersey. They're 6-0. Number 7, Collins Hill out of Swanee, Georgia. Number 8, Servite of Anaheim, 7-0. Number 9, Center Grove out of Greenwood, and they are 8-0. Number 10, Katy, Texas. They are 7-0. Really wishing all the high schoolers be safe. As you cheer, we got spirit. Yes, we do. We got spirit. How about you? Make sure you don't drink and drive. Do not let your high schoolers drink and drive. You want to get them home safely. It's all fair in love and war. I want to get the kickoff started for college football. As we say, let's get ready to rumble. A lot of good games happening all over this country. The big games on television on CBS Sports, Auburn at number 17, Arkansas. It's a noontime kickoff on CBS Sports. And the Tigers and Razorbacks are both coming off of losses. They need wins to keep things going in the SEC West. So that'll be a game on CBS Sports. They'll be all over it. Another big game out of the Big 12 this time, as we just previewed some in the SEC team. Number 12, Oklahoma State. They are at number 25, Texas. It's a 12 o'clock kickoff time on Fox Sports. Now, the Longhorns, they suffered a heartbreaking loss to Oklahoma, but you got to give that game some praise. What a great game, Oklahoma and Texas last week, the Red River shootout. And, of course, Oklahoma came back to win. They've dominated that series lately. But the Longhorns suffered a heartbreaking loss to Oklahoma. They can still keep their conference championship hopes alive with a win over the Cowboys. Not the Dallas Cowboys, but the Oklahoma State Cowboys. And now they don't have to be so afraid to play that game. Meanwhile, Coach Mike Gundy's crew could make a statement and remind people that they are swirling in the Big 12 championship game race. And I wish them nothing but the best. Number 11, Kentucky. When's the last time Kentucky's been number 11? They're at number 1, Georgia, at 3:30 p.m. kickoff on CBS Sports. SEC and the CBS game of the week could be the SEC East Championship game preview. Both teams will be entering Sanford Stadium unbeaten. Kentucky could make a big statement if it's able to just sneak some moonshine into the Gatorade. But the Georgia Bulldogs, that's the only chance they have to win. You know, it's interesting to see if quarterback J.T. Daniels gets the start after missing the last 2 weeks. But Georgia's defense is good. Maybe Kentucky gets 2 touchdowns in this game, but Georgia's proud. That Bulldogs should be able to eat. Okay? In fact, this segment sponsored by the Big C Burgers. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with all those exotic meats. Last I heard, a wildcat and a dog are exotic meats. Hey, I don't eat them, but some people eat what they want to eat. I'm just saying, it's all fair that it works. TCU back to the Big 12 there at number 4, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's the luckiest undefeated team in the country. It's a 7:30 p.m. kickoff on ABC Sports. Quarterback questions around Norman Lincoln Riley, the head coach, should be in the NFL next year. He's turned his football complex into a football factory in an attempt to keep his decision to start Spencer Rattler or Caleb Williams. It's a secret. You know, so what if it's a secret? Play both of them. They both help you win. Why not play both of them? And they're going to need both of them because TCU likes to look for upsets, those Horned Frogs. But I doubt if they're going to get close to upsetting them. All fair 11 war. Other big games around the Big Ten. Number 10, Michigan State. Those little boys are doing their thing. They're number 10 in the country. at Indiana. It's a 12 o'clock p.m. kickoff on Fox Sports 1. Now, Michigan State's been one of the most surprising teams of the year. The Tucker's doing a great job up there. Indiana's season hasn't been what it was last year. A road win at noon would help a lot for Michigan State to go toward earning that status as one of the top teams in the Big Ten. We'll see what happens. They got to avoid the upset bug, and I think they will. Number 20, Florida at LSU down in the swamp, Louisiana. It's a 12 p.m. kickoff on ESPN. It's a big rivalry game, a perfect chance for the Gators to keep the offense going against LSU. LSU's, on the other hand, could use a chance to get right. I mean, they had the chance to beat down in the swamp. Auburn let that game slip away, and they got another good team coming in, Florida ranked. That give Coach Edgeron a chance to kind of exercise some of those demons back there. It's also sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with what's all the exotic meat. Because a tiger and a gator are exotic meat, and people eat those things too, especially down south. Back up to the Big Ten. Purdue's at number 2. Iowa's a 3:30 p.m. kickoff on ABC Sports. I don't think Iowa's a number 2 team in the country. Just my opinion. Penn State had the quarterback issue that cost them last week, but they're number 2 for now. I think they'll beat Purdue. Penn State will haunt the Hawkeyes when you think about it. They may have a hangover in that game. Are Kirk Ferentz crew, will they be up to business? They overmatched the Boilermakers, but you always wonder about a letdown game. I think Iowa wins because their defense is stout. I want to bring you out to the Pac-12. Let's get ready to rumble. They usually say Pac-12 after dark. Arizona State, them Sun Devils at Utah is a 10 p.m. kickoff on ESPN Sports. Now, Pac-12 after dark was featured a fun game. Arizona State's legit. They can look to stay relevant in the national conversation like they did back in the days of the great Frank Kush when he was winning. Now, Everett has those little boys playing like a bunch of Sun Devils, if that makes sense to you. But I'm telling you, it's a good team in Arizona State. They're going to be playing up in the Wasatch Mountains in Salt Lake City against the Utes. If you haven't watched Sun Devils football, they're one of the most prolific rushing teams on offense, and they are tied for second with 21 scored touchdowns on the ground. So that's a big game for the Pac-12 to pay attention to. Also tonight, you have Cal. They are playing Oregon. Oregon has some type of after night, some crazy type of looking uniforms, but they look really beautiful. Kind of a glow in the dark look. Pay attention to the Oregon Ducks and the Cal Golden Bears. They are playing tonight in the Pac-12. Also more Pac-12 games over the weekend. UCLA at Washington at 8:30 p.m. kickoff on Fox Sports. Hawaii will be at Nevada in the Mountain West at 10:30 p.m. kickoff on CBS Sports. UNLV, they're at a home team versus Utah State, 7 p.m. on the CBS Sports Network. That's a Saturday game. Number 5, Alabama. They're at Mississippi State at 7 p.m. kickoff on ESPN. You want to see Alabama exercise some demons? Watch that game. It's all fair and level. Number 19, BYU. They're moving into the Big 12 Conference, maybe, down the road. They're going to play at Baylor. BYU was just knocked off at Boise State, and I called that game. They're going to be at Baylor. It's a Saturday game, kickoff 3:30 p.m. East Coast time on ESPN. Miami's at North Carolina, 3:30 p.m. kickoff on the ACC network. And then, number 21, Texas A&M. They knocked off number 1 Alabama, and now they jumped to number 21. How's that make sense? You beat the number 1 team, and now you're only 21 in the country. They're at Missouri. A 12 o'clock kickoff on the SEC network. Look for an upset special. And then University of Central Florida at number 3, Cincinnati. Cincinnati's number 3 in the country. Based on what? Their undefeated record, or are they really that good? It's just my opinion. It's based on having the undefeated record and the win over Notre Dame, not because they're the best team in on the top 5 in the country. That's just my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. As everybody has their own opinion. You know, let's get ready to rumble. We have some NFL football. Congratulations to Tampa Bay Buccaneers, defending champions, got a win over the Philadelphia Eagles last night. Give them some praise. Give them good old boys some praise. Tom Brady, them good old boys came back. I mean, they had a big lead, and then Philadelphia came back and tried to make it close. But I want to run down Big C's over the weekend. It's just my opinion on NFL football. There's a lot of good football coming up. We're going to start this because, you know, I love this Miami Dolphins. It's a Florida special. Miami Dolphins 1-4. They're playing Jacksonville, and they are 0-5. It's in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So across the pond, they're going to get some NFL football, and both teams are struggling. 1-9 combined record. It's at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London, England. At 9:30 a.m. kickoff East Coast time on CBS Sports. The Dolphins are 3.5-point favorites. The over-under is 47. Going to be a long flight there and a long flight back. That's fair and loving war. This man, no matter what happens, it's an all-Florida special. They decided they were playing so bad they kicked them out of Florida for the weekend. How about that? Going to be a long flight either way. But when you think about Urban Meyer's running game is humming along since James Robinson heated up, averaging 165 yards on the ground in the last 3 weeks. But Jacksonville's defense lost, and the offense is relying on Tavon Austin to do some things there. Big mistakes happen in that offense. Trevor Lawrence and the Dolphins rebuild a better defense to stop Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I mean, Jacksonville has to win sometime. They might want to do it in front of their own crowd. So I'm going to go with Miami winning that game. All spread level up. Kansas City Chiefs. What's wrong with the Chiefs? They are 2-3 on the season. They're at the Washington football team. Also 2-3 at FedEx Field, Landover, Maryland. 1 p.m. East Coast time to kick off on CBS Sports. And the Chiefs are a 6.5-point favorite. Can you imagine that? 6.5-point favorite for the Chiefs. And they're only 2-3 on the season. The over-under is 54. Don't buy the theory the Chiefs are going to try extra hard now because of their embarrassment loss to the Bills. I do buy the fact that the Chiefs are a better team than Washington, but they're on the road. I don't think they're going to lose 2 in a row, despite turnovers on offense. Fluky. But think about it. The Chiefs' loss have come to the Chargers, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Buffalo Bills. Those teams only have 1 loss each. So it was a beatdown, but I think they'll bounce back. I think Washington's football's team, their defense has a good defense, but they're probably not going to be able to contain touchdown Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey and those good boys. I'm going to go with the Chiefs to win that game. The Los Angeles Rams, they play the New York Giants at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Give them some praise for letting them into the New York. Give them some praise for letting them into New York. They're all vaccinated, so they can go there and play. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on Fox Sports. And the Giants are getting 9.5. So I'm thinking the Giants are a better team than that. But they were blown out by the Dallas Cowboys. The Rams will be all over this game. Rams are most likely win by 10, even though the 9.5 is the spread. Over under 48.5. The Rams might get 48 by themselves. When you think about it, there's a team within the Giants that if they could ever get a break from injury, Saquon Barkley, Kenny Galladay appear likely to exit the stage. Darius Slayton and Sterling Shepard return. The score prediction assumes that Daniel Jones returns from a concussion, but he's playing the third quarterback. It should be able to move the ball on the Rams defense that's still finding his way. But I like the Rams to get right. And, Stafford going back to the East Coast. Darnold doing his thing on either side of the ball. I'm going to go with the Rams winning that one by 2 touchdowns. I know it's on the road. It's an early game, but I still go with the West Coast team because LA wins everything, it seems. They win every freaking thing, it seems. The Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans. Both teams are 1-4 at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. 1 p.m. kickoff on CBS Sports, East Coast time. And the Texans are getting 10. The over-under is 43.5. The Colts had a win at Baltimore, but they didn't hold on to it. They just found a way to lose it. So I'm going to go with them getting back on the right side of the fence. At home, Lucas Oil Stadium, they're going to give a little oil at home. The crowds will be a little bit nuts. And I'm going to give them the win over the Texans. Most likely win by a touchdown and a field goal. The Texans are better off seeing Davis Mills for another week after his performance against the Patriots. They had a win over the Patriots, and they let it slip away. We had them on the hook, and we let it slip away. And they might let another one slip away this time. They're going up to Indianapolis. If you think about it, the Colts defense showed signs of life 3 quarters in Baltimore, and that was against Superman Lamar Jackson. And now they get Carson Wentz to play better. I think he's playing a little bit better, but Indy is still, they're not out of the race in the AFC South. They should get a win over the Texans. Cincinnati and the Detroit Lions. Man, either there's a field goal miss or a field goal make. Detroit and Cincinnati has some tough losses because of field goals. Cincinnati's 3-2. The Lions are 0-5. It's at Ford Field in Detroit, 1 p.m. kickoff, East Coast time on Fox Sports. And this is probably where the Lions get their first win. I know people say, what? 1 p.m. kickoff, East Coast time on Fox Sports. Cincinnati has to be beaten up themselves with their loss to Green Bay. They had them on the hook, and they just couldn't kick a field goal. They get a 3.5-point favorite. The over on this 47.5. I'm going with the Detroit Lions to get their first win. It's sponsored by the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with, what's all this exotic meat? Last I heard, a lion. Detroit Lions and Cincinnati Bengals, they're both exotic meat. The Bengals ugly win unless they miss kicks. They lose ugly. The Lions lose, but they fight hard. They try to break kneecaps and all kind of stuff that their coach told them. He thought it was in an MMA match. I think Jared Goff gets his win this time. May have time to throw to Taylor Decker on track to return this week to face an inconsistent Cincinnati pass rush. It's hard to imagine them finding many open receivers. The Bengals have a wideout, Jamar Chase, who's legit, taking 2 picks before struggling. The Lions tackle Peniel Swill. I think it's going to be fine. I think it's just a matter of time. Since he's going to be maybe still starting slow because of their loss last week at home to Green Bay, going with Detroit getting their first win of the year. Now the Green Bay Packers, this is a game they gotta win. They're 4-1. The Bears are 3-2. Soldier Field, Chicago, 1 p.m. to kick off East Coast time on Fox Sports. The Packers are a 4.5 point favorite. The over-under is 44. I think the Packers with touchdown Aaron Rodgers get the win over Justin Fields. The Bears' offense is playing close to the best, trying to figure out what Justin Fields does best while letting the resurgent defense do the rest. The Bears' front of Khalil Mack, Robert Quinn is doing their thing, controlling games that should keep Aaron Rodgers in check. Maybe, but I think Aaron Rodgers finds a way to win. They had a close game, a lucky game. Crosby won't be called on to kick a field goal to win this game. I think the Packers go to Chicago and get the win outright. Rodgers sometimes impatiently, can force the ball, but he also knows how if he gets the ball with time running out, he knows how to get them in field goal range. I like the Packers figuring out how to get the ball downfield. Levante Adams is amazing, and I think that LaFleur will run his head coach record to a higher number in the win total. I got Green Bay winning that game in Chicago by a touchdown. All's fair in the board. The game of the day. Let's get ready to rumble. Los Angeles Chargers 4-1 at the Baltimore Ravens 4-1 at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. 1 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on CBS Sports. The Chargers are getting a 2.5. Baltimore's going to win this game. The Chargers, they won last week at home against Cleveland. This is for you because they went for it twice on 4th down, and Herbert's the real deal. But now they're going against Superman. Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert might be the best closers in the NFL so far, but the clutch Chargers have outscored their opponents 59-28. They're going to need that on the road, but it's an early morning kickoff. They went back east and won earlier against Washington. I don't see them doing it week after week or twice on 2 East Coast trips. Jackson's already led 2 double-digit comebacks in 3 game-winning drives. Both teams have top 10 offenses and with below-average defenses and support, but because Baltimore's at home and they have the early kickoff, I think it gives them the credit and gives them, both quarterbacks are playing at MVP levels. I think Baltimore's high-risk defense approach is boom or bust. They got the better kicker, in my opinion. The Chargers' defense is almost designed to give up yardage. I can't believe the Chargers seem more balanced, but the Ravens have a running game. Lamar Jackson counted over 400 yards last week by himself. You got to give him some praise. I'm going to go with the Ravens to win that game by 4, maybe 28-24. Both teams can definitely score. And if it comes down to a kick, I trust Tucker to kick it through the upright for the Baltimore Ravens. All fair in level one. The Minnesota Vikings 2-3 versus the Carolina Panthers 3-2 is at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. All fair in level war. Bank of America, give me that $10 million grant. You know it's fair for the Big Big Sports Podcast. 1 o'clock p.m. East Coast time on Fox Sports. The Vikings are favored by 1. I don't know. The Vikings are the new Seahawks when you think about it. They don't play normal games. Their trip to Carolina should continue a trend and a contest between 2 teams that are creeping towards the NFL's middle of the pack. The Panthers' offensive line looks a little worse each week, and the excellent Viking pass rush tandem of Hunter and Griffin should create some fumbles and some turnovers and a couple of sacks. You think about Sam Darnold, sometimes just not there. Minnesota's zone running scheme can also slow down. And then I think they have a blitz package that can work against Carolina. I'm going to take Minnesota going on the road and getting that 1-point win, maybe 28-27. It's going to be a close game. Now here's a big game. Cleveland, this is for you. Give Odell Beckham Jr. the ball. But make sure you run the ball. You got to run the ball 40 times to win against Arizona because Murray can do his thing. At First Energy Stadium, there's going to be a lot of energy in that stadium. In Cleveland, Ohio. Going to be maybe the game of the week for some people. The Browns are 3-2, needing a big win. Arizona's 5-0. It's hard to go to 6-0 in the NFL, especially on the road. First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, 4:05 p.m. kickoff, East Coast time on Fox Sports. The Browns are 3-point favorite, and I think Kyler Murray will come get his wings clipped by a dog. The dog pound. Be careful letting your Cardinals get anyone's dog pound. Don't bring those Cardinals. They're a dog pound because, dogs do the Cardinals. They eat them. I think Cleveland gets this win. Cleveland only seems to play in fascinating games. A matchup with undefeated Cardinals. Opportunity for the Browns to remind the rest of the league they still have Odell Beckham on their team. But don't make it about Odell Beckham. Run the football. Nick Chubb has been ruled out for Sunday's game. He's out of the game. That means that Arizona will most likely win. Just an opinion. When you think about it, the defense is not the same without Jadeveon Clowney and especially Denzel Ward. But a lot more dynamic than a year ago. Cleveland could be catching Arizona at the right time without Chandler Jones and Rodney Hudson ready to join the ranks of the defeated. But I think the Cardinals are going to lose a game. There's no better way to do it than on the road out of conference. That's why I'm going with Cleveland. This is for you. They should win the game. Maybe 31-28. All fair and level war. Now, let's get ready to rumble. Las Vegas, you heard that before. What a rumble in the Vegas Raiders. Wow. What is that? Excuse me. They coughed up the football. They might fumble a lot because John Gruden was coughing up emails. If that makes sense to you. John Gruden coughed up some emails, and it may have cost up the Raiders season. The Broncos 3-2, the Raiders 3-2 at Empower Field. Mile High Stadium will be a madhouse in Denver, Colorado. 4:25 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on CBS Sports. They're giving the Raiders 3.5. Over under 44. We know that John Gruden was a joke of a person. For the rest of the season, Las Vegas has a lot of bad mojo because, the owner, Davis, didn't want to get rid of Gruden. He was forced to. Just my opinion, a lot of bad things happened. But when you think about it, Gruden's second tenure as the Raiders coach, a lot of things came out. And the fact that he's a bad person came out also. I'm not judging anybody, but a pretty sorry person. But somebody gave him a job anyway. The Vegas offensive line woes could sink the season. It may not hurt as much this week against the Broncos defense among the worst in pass block rate. But the Raiders without Gruden are the same as the Raiders with Gruden, a flawed team. And a loaded division where there's going to be no gimmies. The Broncos are in a similar spot. They're desperate for a win to stop their two-game slide. I like the Broncos to win. And the Raiders, obviously, they're just a little bit, don't know who they are and how they're going to respond. I'm going to give the Broncos a 20, maybe a 24-21 win. That's just my opinion. The Dallas Cowboys and the New England Patriots. How about them Cowboys? The Cowboys are good. They are 4-1. The Patriots are 2-3 by the skin of their teeth. Gillette Stadium, Foxborough, Massachusetts. 4:25 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on CBS Sports. And you think about the Cowboys, people look for reasons to believe that the Cowboys are the juggernaut, but they're a good team. I like the Dallas Cowboys. They are a good team. They're going to go in and nobody have a job winning. So I like Dallas to go in there and get a win against New England. It's all fair and level war, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to say Dallas will win by 2 touchdowns, but New England can keep it close too. But I still like Dallas Cowboys, maybe 35 to, I'm not going to say 2 touchdowns, 35-24 is what I'm going to say at Gillette Stadium in New England. Pittsburgh, they're 2-3. The Seattle Seahawks 2-3 at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 8:20 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on NBC Sports. It's all fair in love and war. You got to give them some praise. The Steelers are favored by 5. I think they'll find their wings, if that makes sense to you. The Seahawks, they don't have Russell Wilson. So the world's biggest Geno Smith fans still can't believe the Seahawks started out only 4 underdogs on the road. 4 points. But Steelers are going to rebound. They're going to rebound. They got that mojo back after getting the win last week. And Big Ben is still showing that he still can throw the ball downfield. Pittsburgh for 4 quarters with a T.J. Watt back and for Bloom. Asking any backup quarterback, even Geno Smith, to carry a struggling defense and an offensive line that's asking too much. I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers getting back in the groove, getting their groove back in the win zone. They got to get the win zone going because they need it. And they're at home where they should get it. Everybody has their own opinion. about how good or bad the Pittsburgh Steelers have been at home. But the Steelers, they're just, I feel bad for both teams because Big Ben is showing some rust, but I think they'll get back on the groove, get their groove back. Monday Night Football, and I'm going to say the Steelers probably with a 31-24 win. Yeah, 31-24 is a lot for a team without Russell Wilson, but we'll see what happens. Monday Night Football, October the 18th. Buffalo Bills, they're 4-1 against Tennessee Titans, 3-2 at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. An 8:15 p.m. kickoff East Coast time on ESPN. The Bills are 5.5-point favorite. Titans defense figures to have some wrist-slaps trying to slow down Josh Allen after 3 weeks of facing Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and the hobbled Carson Wentz. The Tennessee's offense hasn't faced a secondary near as dominant as Buffalo's unit all year. This game has a letdown potential for the Bills. After the big win in Kansas City, the Titans can just run Henry. Keep running Henry. Henry left. Henry right. Touchdown Henry. If they can run Henry, they have a chance to make some noise in this game. But we'll see what happens. I'll be surprised if it's hard to see anyone beating Buffalo right now. So I'm still going to stick with Buffalo getting that win, a close win, maybe 28-24, somewhere around there. And then you had the game with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's a big win for the Buccaneers and Tom Brady and all them good boys that are showing that Tampa still has a great team. Man, I'm so happy with all the pushback that's happened in football from last year dealing with COVID. Now this year teams are playing, and they're playing that's going on in the world of sports. And no matter who you like, you got to appreciate that football is something that brings everybody together. We got WNBA basketball going on over the weekend. Got NHL hockey also going strong over the weekend. And I know Major League Baseball will steal the hearts, minds, and souls of a lot of wonderful people that are out to watch Major League Baseball. So when you think about it, the Giants, their season comes to an end after winning the most in the history of the Giants. So really got to tip your cap to the San Francisco Giants for getting that done. I know they wanted to have more baseball, but the baseball guys decided no, the Dodgers win. They'll have to get ready for next year. But Houston and Boston, what a series that could be in the ALCS, American League Championship Series, and the Braves in the NLCS, the National League Championship Series. I'm looking forward to some great sports, some great baseball, basketball. WNBA playoffs are going strong. The NBA is getting ready to tip off, coming up soon, preseason. Can you believe the Sacramento Kings are 4-0 in the preseason? It is preseason, but I said this would be the year they actually break their playoff jinx. It's all fair and love and war. No matter what you love about sports, you got to love sports on a wide scale, that it comes back strong, and everybody has their opinion about how to keep sports going. It's a great sport that keeps everything fair to end the game the way they ended it last night, but it's all fair and love and war. We're just playing on all over the sports, really, Monday through Friday. As we tell you on every day, we thank you, we appreciate it, and we hope that you have a super fantastic day.